हाय, मेरा नाम है अदिति। आप सुन रहे हो काइपन अदिति। आई एम सॉरी, दिस एपिसोड वाज सपोज्ड टू गो अप लास्ट वीक. अ लॉट हैज़ happened and I wanted to do a life in between, just a catch up एपिसोड कि हो क्या रहा है, क्या हुआ है. पहले तो मैं बात करूँगी अबाउट फुकट की चीज़ें, बिकॉज फुकट की चीज़ें एज मच एज हमें पसंद है, वी लव फ्री थिंग्स, बट वी ऑल्सो नो एंड अंडरस्टैंड कि वो फ्री की चीज़ें हमें इतनी वैल्यू, मतलब वो इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं आता है. जब कुछ फ्री में मिलता है ना, तो उसका कुछ वैल्यू नहीं होता है अपने लाइफ में, पीरियड. वही चीज़ अगर आप पैसा दे के ले रहे हो तो वो चीज़ का वैल्यू ज़्यादा होता है. यू विल बी लाइक ओके, मैंने खुद के पैसे से कमा के ख़रीदा है एंड ये मैं आप मेरे शेल्फ पे रखूँगी एंड ये मैं डिस्प्ले पे रखूँगी, वॉट एवर. दिस इज़ द इम्पोर्टेंस वैल्यू ऑफ मनी. ऐसे ही कुछ हुआ. कोई एक PR कंपनी थी दैट रीच्ड आउट टू मी ऑन माई इंस्टाग्राम. PR कंपनी में सीनियर मैनेजमेंट लेवल पे थी ये बंदी, एंड शी रीच्ड आउट टू मी, हाय अदिति, ये एक सेक्सुअल वेलनेस ब्रांड है एंड वी वांटेड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हम कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या आपके पॉडकास्ट पे. सो आई टोल्ड हर, व्हाट डू यू मीन हम कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या? हम द एम्फेसिस ऑन द वर्ड वाज हम का मतलब क्या होता है? व्हाट आर यू इंटरेस्टेड इन? डू यू वांट interview? Do you want a sit down interview, or do you want to like do a 1 or 2 minute ad where they buy a slot on my podcast episode? And she's like, okay, sure, we are down. I'm open to listen to both. And I'm like, okay, cool. So she says, feel free to reach out to me. उसने मेरे को नंबर दिया, मैंने उसको कॉल किया, बंदी ने फ़ोन ही नहीं उठाया. मैंने बोला करके, भाई तू फ़ोन नहीं उठा रही, तू ही बोल रही है. बोली, अरे अच्छा आपने कॉल किया था क्या? मेरे को तो दिखा ही नहीं. तो मैं बोली अच्छा ठीक है. तो मैं उसको बोली, बहन ये मेरा नंबर है, आप कर लो कॉल, कोई बात नहीं, हो जाता है, गलती मिस्टेक तो होती है सबसे, बिज़ी होगी बंदी. आई गेव हर माई नंबर एंड बंदी का कोई जवाब ही नहीं उसके बाद. तो बोलती है, फिर वो थोड़े टाइम बाद बोलती है, अरे मैंने तो आपका मैसेज देखा ही नहीं, सॉरी करती हूँ मैं आपको कॉल. And I'm like, okay. And then I waited and then I waited and then I waited some more and I never heard back. I'm like, oh shit, here goes another one. I know the sexual wellness brand, and the funny thing was that हम 2 दिन पहले, मैं और मेरी योगा ट्रेनर प्रियंका, we were talking about this sexual wellness brand, and they do lot of like sex toys, and I was like, okay, interesting. I told her कि they have such a cute brand, but the only problem with their brand was that the products were very expensive, period. The products were very out of the world expensive, and I'm not gonna pay like 5, 6, 7, 8,000 for a sex toy. I'm sorry. Coming back to the point, we legit manifested, and it's interesting to sit down and talk with the founders and ask, why this brand? Why in India? And also, is it legal to sell such sex toys in India? Like that could have been an interesting conversation, but बंदी का कभी कुछ मैसेज आया नहीं, जवाब आया नहीं. I'm like, okay ठीक है, you do you, to each its own. नहीं करना है, अनप्रोफेशनलिज्म का भी हद होता है. ठीक है, I am being very salty and bitter at this point because it could have been a great collab. Yeah, there we go, I said it. ऑलराइट, ये महीना चालू हुआ था ब्रिजिटन से, मेरे लिए एटलीस्ट. आई वॉज वेरी एक्साइटेड एंड आई वॉज वेटिंग फॉर सीजन 3 टू हैपन. एंड द वर्स्ट पार्ट अबाउट नेटफ्लिक्स शोज इज़ दैट कि वो लोग इतना एक्साइटमेंट बिल्डअप कर देते हैं, बहुत गंदा वाला एक्साइटमेंट बिल्डअप, लॉट ऑफ फोप्ले एंड द क्लाइमैक्स इज एम नाइट श्यामलान व्हाटएवर की मूवी, कि भाई इतना ऊपर तक पहुँच गया एंड इट जस्ट क्रैशेस रियली हार्ड. इट वॉज बैड. Period. This Bridget movie, web series was bad. They overhyped it up and I was waiting, and what was worse was they split it in 2 part. क्यों करना है ऐसा? आपको ठीक है मार्केटिंग करना है और पैसे कमाने हैं 2 पार्ट करके, and it was just बकवास. स्टोरी मेन है पेनेलोपी फेदरिंगटन एंड कॉलन की. They are Penelope is known to be the late bloomer out of all of the people in it, and I recognize late bloomer because I am one. I finally found the confidence, the courage, like I was like, okay, मैं कुछ हूँ, I don't need other people's validation. I'm 29, 30 was when it hit me. I'm like, okay, no, I'm a full as grown woman. That's where it hit me. Like, yeah. And so I could recognize the season was for the late bloomers. And so I was like, what the fuck, Penelope? Like, when I saw, like, I was like, how did she end up falling? So Penelope has always been in love with this character called Colin, and suddenly Colin's jata hai Europe. He has all the sex in the world with all the wild out ladies there. Sex ka paid karke aata hai, and now he's like this womanizer. Season 3 mein suddenly, and I'm like, fuck, how are you still in love with this boy? Like, he's not the same boy you fell in love with. And you can't just, like, I was like so angry for Penelope to not see कि भाई अरे ये बंदा वो बंदा नहीं है जिससे तू प्यार में पड़ी थी. क्या इतना प्यार में इतने अंधे हो जाते हैं? इतना कोई अंधा नहीं हो जाता है. I think the other also part was Penelope loving the body representation happening in the storyline. Of course, for the two of you who know, there's a lot of sex happening in this web series, and there was a full frontal nudity from Penelope in part 2, and she's like, I've never seen mere body, chubby body being represented. I don't think she's chubby. I don't know, like, I don't know how to politely put it. I'm also chubby, so I don't know how to politely put it. Plus size body being represented and on the screen, and truly appreciating that. I think she was very proud of that, and she was preaching that. And I love Nicola, who plays the character of Penelope. I've seen all of her shows. Derry Girls was one show that you need to go watch it out. Like, Bridget and Dekho Mat Dekho, I don't get. Derry Girls, it's just one badass show, like funny, hilarious. 5-6 students school जाते हैं and कुछ ना कुछ होता ही है. It's just hilarious. Like, I love Dairy Girls, but this show was like, I did not like it. I did not like season 3 of Bridgerton, period. What were your thoughts? And did you end up liking it, loving it? Let me know. Maybe reach out to me on Instagram at Aditi hi. That's my user ID, or Aditi hi. Do you care anything about anyone? Let me know. And yeah, always love to hear back from my fellow podcast listeners. I think there's just so many shows that are coming out. It's very hard to keep up. Especially, I finally got access to Netflix, and I was like, whoa, I am again in the world of Netflix, and it's a whole new world. And so Netflix does not allow me to sign in from my sister's account, which sucks, because they're like 5 screens, and I'm like, why should I pay? But then I have to, but then I don't, and so I just end up downloading a lot of things. But now I have it. So I just finished watching Hira Mandi. That was like a whole new world for me, and again, disappointed. I love everything about the show, but I'm just disappointed कि story नहीं था. It was like Azadi was a second thought कि भाई okay, it was just coming आखिरी में आखिरी का एक एपिसोड. अरे रे, आज़ादी के लिए लड़ रहे हम लोग. पहले 7 एपिसोड में क्या किया उन लोगों ने? कुछ भी नहीं. It's just so much to catch up. इतने सारे shows, movies, it's gagging. Like, I don't have time, so little time, and my brain is like messed up. Like, I'm having shitty dreams. ऐसे इतने भयानक सपने आ रहे. Anyways, so I have a lot of shows to catch up on. Handmaid's Tale last season देखा नहीं. I don't know. I'm currently also watching Desperate Housewife. I thought it would be about housewives and fighting and jealousy and gossip, but it is a murder thriller apparently, and it's a very old show with 8 seasons. So there must be something. कुछ तो चला होगा वो सीरियल जब 8 सीजन बने होंगे तब. Anyways, I get kept क्या बोल रही हूँ. One of the reader I follow on Instagram keeps recommending to watch this show that's on Amazon. It's called An Interview with the Vampire. I just started that. I don't know how it is, but like I just started like 15 minutes. I don't know. 15 मिनट ही देखा है मैंने. There is Mirzapur season 3-4 coming out. There is Good Girls Guide to Murder that is coming out. I still haven't watched Shogun. There is Inside Out 2 movie. $1 billion movie cross हो चुकी है. I'm Pixar की. I'm excited to check that out. Fargo, Grey's Anatomy चल रहा है. Season 20 चल रहा है by the way. And I'm still obsessed with Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. How does one catch up when there are so many good shows out there? It's like आप काम धंधे सब छोड़ दो, बैठ जाओ काउच पे, कुछ नहीं होना, and then you add books in the mix, and then you add podcasts in the mix. Yeah, my brain is deep fried Mars bar. BTW मैंने इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं किया. हाय, मेरा नाम है अदिति, आप सुन रहे हो काइपन अदिति, एंड आई टॉक अबाउट एवरीथिंग, growth, career, love, friendship, arranged marriage, dating, gossip, who's doing what and who, and just Bollywood stuff and just everything, and who's wearing what. And I love looking at it, and I love gossiping, and I just love talking and sharing my everyday life with you guys. And this specific episode is a life in between, everything that has gone down in my personal life and what I'm up to. This episode is probably one of the least formatted ones, least structured ones. So I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to play catch up and looking back on significant events of the month, from at least from the last month, June. As June started, I got my very first viral post. Shocking, excited, but shocking, because Instagram just changed its algorithm and is supporting more smaller creators now, and I'm very happy about that. So that video went viral, and then there was another video that went viral. Here I was, you would think, yaar ye bandi excited honi chahiye dahi. I was not happy, I was not excited, I was melting with anxiety, because the first video currently stands at around 4.1 million, and the other video stands at 2 plus million views, and I am ulti aa rahi hai mere ko. I was like, shit, too much unwanted attention. ये लोग अभी फॉलो कर रहे हैं, फिर फॉलोअर काउंट फिर गिर जाएगा. I'd rather prefer the gradual increase than sudden increase in follower, because वो ड्रॉप एकदम टक करके गिरेगा वो. I don't want that. I don't want that. And then when there is a lot of eyeballs, there is also a lot of hate. There are like literally people leaving gifs on my video with just वो gif में वो आदमी जिस कर रहा है, थूक रहा है. Oh my god, it is just hilarious. The hate versus love comments are just hilarious at this point, and I don't take anything seriously. Anyways, this happened on Instagram, and I'm just like, what is happening, yo? I am a small creator, I'm just living my life. I just some days I just can't believe it that happened. I'm just grateful. I'm proud. I'm grateful that algorithm is favoring and promoting smaller creator like I do. And also we do have niche following. That means more eyeballs to specific products. So I have, like, I keep wearing this necklace and people keep asking कि कहाँ से लिया, कहाँ से लिया, कहाँ से लिया. I'm like, oh shit, what do I tell them? This necklace is like 14,000 का है. How do I tell them? It was a birthday gift. Both my sister and my brother are loaded, and they are techies, and they have jobs, and they've been working and been in the industry for 15 years, and they can afford to gift me such filthy expensive items. I don't know how to say that to people. So anyways, yeah, that. And then in other news, this is a sad-ish भी नहीं, ish है नहीं, इसमें sad ही है news. My auntie passed away, and those like 2-3 days of getting the news, and like it just hit so hard. Like, I did not know it would. I just genuinely, like, I did not know it would hurt, because when it did, I was like, oh shit. Like, when the hurt came, it was like, no, maybe I did genuinely care, because she was like one of my first in my cluster of family who died, and I knew her, and I've talked with her, and like that shit happened, and it's real, and death is real. So the hurt, because she simply cared for me. She showed up during, the hardest days of my life, which I find myself, again, very grateful that she was there. She supported me. She sent me a lot of care packages, and I'm just indebted to her. I was in the US. The first few months were very rough, and the transition from not living in Mumbai. I come from a very small town, and I've never lived in Mumbai. I wish, in hindsight, looking back, I wished I'd lived in Mumbai for a little bit, so that I could have learned a thing or two before moving, or before even leaving for the States, for Berkeley. But yeah, anyways, here are a few things I wanted to share real quickly. She taught me the first was sort of the first point that I wrote was sort of an anecdote ki when we heard this aunt passed away, me and my sister got on a call because she saw my photo. I changed my WhatsApp display picture from my indie picture to a picture with my auntie. That was the last picture I guess we took with her. And she saw that picture and she called me up and she's like checking in, are you doing okay, what is up? I saw the picture and like she started telling me about her last memory with the auntie, and her last memory was them working out. I'm like, आप लोग कब वर्कआउट कर रहे थे, where was I? So she was like, हाँ हम योगा कर रहे थे, घर पे ही था ये, हम लोग योगा कर रहे थे. And the auntie casually, बुआ casually mentions कि she has to work out. For all they know, she could be the first in her siblings to pass away. And oh boy, was she on point. I don't know, like, sucks for my sister because that was the last core memory she holds of her. It's not even funny, but it's just she was bang on that money. Like, she knew somewhere. Also, my auntie was sick, just ill throughout her life. She had a lot of diseases and issues with her body, and somewhere she knew she might be the first to collapse or pass away. ठीक है, it just sucks कि this was my last memory. This was the last memory my sister holds of her. Okay, now 2 things she told me when we got on a call. She's like, find a guy, settle down. It's okay to wait a little till you find somebody that you actually love. She said she found somebody when she was 35, 36-ish. She loved the guy. She also told me you might need someone to fall back on because it sucks to see your parents die. अब ये डेथ तो इवेंचुअली सबकी होनी है, ठीक है. तो मेरे को समझा रही थी यार, it will suck. Like, it will suck. You'll be hurt. It will suck to see your parents die. It hurts. But then she also told me something that made me almost want to cry, which was even harder to swallow. The truth that she told me. She told me what will hurt the most is when you see your siblings die. I'm like, I wasn't ready for that. I wish somebody had given me a trigger warning before she spilled that truth out. I'm sorry if you were not ready to think or even to listen, but this was the hard reality truth that I was given. I was 26, 27 when I was told this, and she's like, yeah, that would be very hard to see your siblings die. And I'm like, I had quite some time to sit on and to dwell and to ponder, and I'm like, oh god, that would be the worst kind of letting go of that. Just the acceptance would be very hard. So she basically told me that's the worst kind of death, and you'll really need a partner to hold on to if it can get lonely pretty quickly, and you need somebody to fall back on. Yeah. So the last birthday also, she told me something. That was the last time I talked with her. On my last birthday, she wished me and we were talking, and she was super healthy, and like she was like 60, she was 66, 67ish. She had quite a life. Okay. And she told me कि भाई तू बाल कलर करवा ले. That is what she told me. Which was hilarious because she could see my grey hair, and I have a lot of grey hair. I'm like, okay, fine, like just get it colored, Aditi. It sucks to be treated differently. People look down upon you because suddenly you are 60-year-old and people think you are invalid and you're not capable of doing things. So that was like, somebody might have told her something. I don't know. It's just very painful to know this and to hear this. And she recommended I should get my hair colored, and she told me 5 different brands, and like you can use this Claire oil, and like you can use the L'Oreal one or whichever. And like she had, so that was something that she told me, which I was like, okay, people really judge you for your hair, but then maybe us millennials have more acceptance, maybe not, I don't know, but things are changing. It's not the same as it used to be. I'm assuming. She also taught me very, I guess, my very first lesson when I landed in the US. She said, make a decision, Aditi. It might work out, it might not work out, and that is life. Pick a lane. पिक इट. आप श्योर नहीं हो आपको लेफ्ट जाना है, राइट जाना है, आई जस्ट वांट यू टू पिक. And that's what I did. As you know, as someone who was genuinely struggling to make a decision, a lot of times, 99% of the times, decisions were made for me. And so I have somewhere become a pahage in that regard ki I'm not able to make a decision for myself. She said just pick. You know, I genuinely, looking back on it, I genuinely appreciate all the kind gestures, you know, the care packages, the clothes, the food, the pet sheet she got me. I'm like, damn, she've done far more for me than anyone has when I was in US. I'm very grateful for it, because those were like some of the toughest, challengingest, whatever, most difficult period of my life. I'm just grateful. And she gives it to me. She just straight up gives it to me, and it's very hard pill to swallow in general, but I'm grateful to have known her, and to have had time spent with her. I'm just grateful. I hope she rests in peace. And I also wish, I hope it's all like, I hope she's pain free now. That's all. It just, the month, I'm telling you, the month has not been very kind. It's just, I've been all over the place, and just yeah. I appreciate your time. I'll see you next time. Bye.